Yes, practice paper 2, numeracy non-calculator. So, question number 1. Use the calendar to find the dates on which Heather should travel. So, Heather would like to visit from Saturday to Saturday, and she wants to go in November. So, we're only worried about November, and it's got to be Saturday to Saturday. Can't be before the 12th, so she can't go anytime before the 12th. So, the first Saturday we're looking at is 15th. She'd like to be home for a wedding on the 28th, which means she can't go on the 22nd either. So, her dates would be the 15th to the 22nd of November. Same question, part B. Before she can book a flight, she has to allow to get a visa. So a visa takes 3 weeks, and then she wants to buy her tickets a month. So all together we need 7 weeks before the 15th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks before the 15th would be the 27th. But it says about requiring a month to buy her ticket. So by saying a month, we're going to go back from the 15th right there back to the 15th of October, and then we're going to count back 1, 2, 3 weeks to find that it would be the 25th of September would be the latest possible date she could get her ticket and visa sorted. Question about the flights. So every day there are a number of flights she could use. Questions to go with it. So can you tell where the home airport of East Plains is? So the first East plane of the day leaves London at 7 o'clock, arrives in Moscow at 10 to 3. That plane then leaves there at 3:30, gets back at 20 to 4. So its first place is London, and that is because its first journey of the day starts from London. So the answer is London, and it's because the first journey is from London. The first journey from London is your reason for that. Time in Russia is 4 hours ahead, so calculate how long it takes the flight AF11. So AF112 is the last flight. So it arrives at 6:25 the following day. So the first thing you need to work out is how long does the flight take. So it's from 22:40 to 6:25. So you need to work out how long that time period is. So we've got an hour and 20 minutes to get to midnight, plus another 6 hours and 25 minutes. So that is an hour and 20, 7 hours and 20, 7 hours and 45 minutes. So that is a 7 hour and 45 minute time frame. But obviously we then have to take into account that it was 4 hours ahead. So that is a 3 hour and 45 minute flight. Explain how it appears that the flight arrives at the same time in London. The time difference. So the time difference of 4 hours. So the time difference is equal to the flight time. And because of that, obviously, there appears to be no time. Question 2, scatter graph. So 5,500 is in the middle of here, and 280 is around about there. Obviously, you need to plot these slightly more accurate than I do, but you don't need to sit there and watch me plotting these for ages. 5,600, 280 again, 5.2 to 210, 5.8 to 320, 6.4 to 420, and 6.2 to 410. So that's plotting it. Draw a line of best fit by eye. All it means by eye is that you're not going to work out any values to put on your line of best fit. It doesn't mean freehand, and obviously do it with a ruler and try and get an equal spread of points either side. It doesn't have to go through the origin. Circle either true or false for each of the following statements. So the scatter diagram shows a negative correlation. If we look at the scatter diagram, that is false because it is a positive correlation. If 100 more people attend the ice cream sales would definitely increase. This is also false. Although it's probably likely they would, for all we know, all 100 people extra come in, none of them could buy ice cream, and therefore the sales wouldn't change. If 60,000 people attended, then we would expect around 350 to 370. So if we look at 6,000 on the graph, and we come across, that does land at about 350 to 370, so that is true. From the graph, we can see the average price for an ice cream. The graph actually tells us nothing about how much they've charged for ice cream. All this tells us is how many people were at the festival and how much the ice cream sellers have made. This doesn't tell us that 5,200 people bought enough ice cream to spend £280. This just tells us there were 5,200 people there and the ice cream sellers made 280, so we don't have any information about that. If the scatter diagram was extended, the line of best fit would go through the origin. We have no idea whether that is true or not because we have no data at the point of origin to work it out, so that is another false statement. Question 3, more flights. So you need to consider all three and explain which one you would pick and why. So the obvious thing to say about the first one is no, because it has the lowest reliability and the most expensive. So low reliability, and it's expensive as well. The second one is the one we're going to choose, and that's because it's joint cheapest, but at the same time this one is the most reliable. We are also then going to say no to the Rolly Air, and we are going to say that Celtic flights are more reliable because the cost is the same, but the Celtic flight one is more reliable, and that's sufficient. Next question. So Daniel wants to buy a bike. He's got two options: either pay 480 immediately or 15% deposit, and then obviously the monthly payments. So the deposit paid would be 15% of 480, so that comes to £72, and then his monthly payments would be 22 times 24, which comes to £528. So his total cost would be 72 plus 528, which is £600 in total. The next question says find the percentage increase for him doing that than when paying the monthly payments. So we have 480 altogether, or the 600 by monthly. So to find the percentage increase, we work out how much more it is by deposit. So it's £120. We divide that by how much he's paying on its own, and then to turn it into a percentage, we times that by 100. 120 over 480 is the same as a quarter, so then a quarter times 100 gives us 25%. Question 5, explain why option B is impossible. Option B is impossible because both schools have more than 36 pupils. So both schools have more than 36 pupils. So neither fit in the red block. So neither school will fit in the red block. Part B of this question is splitting them up between boys and girls. So in the red block we need all the girls all together. So we need Swanbrook need 16, and we need Lakeside to have 20. So looking at the multiples and the numbers we've got here, if we need to make 20, we can use an 8, an 8 and a 4, and then that gives us a 6, a 6 and a 4, which would cover the 16. So we're going to use full Lakeside in there, another full Lakeside there and there, so that covers all 20 of the Lakeside. And then the 16 for here, we're going to say 6 in there, we're going to put another 6 in there, which makes 12, and then we're going to put the last 4 in there, which makes the full 16. For the boys, Swanbrook need 26 and Lakeside only need 18. So I'm going to start off by doing the 18 and hope that we've got enough elsewhere. So if I put 10 and 8 for Lakeside, I need to make 26 then. So I've got 10, 18, 24, 26. That will be no problem. So Lakeside I can put 8 in there, and Lakeside I can put 10 in there. That's them sorted. If Swanbrook put 10 in there and 6 in here, that's 16. If they put 8 in here, for example, that takes us up to 24, and then they can just put 2 in there to fill the box. There are several ways of doing that problem. That's just one example. Comment on how this graph could be misunderstood. So the reason this graph is misunderstood, the sloping axes, so the sloping axis for X gives the impression that all lines are the same. So that gives the impression all lines are the same height, when obviously we know that that wouldn't be the case were we to make this axis perfectly parallel, perpendicular even.